Yeah, I'm back. I have a little bit of fun with this one and just make it a singular topic today on this one. Figured I would talk about my dating life or lack thereof, and just give you a little bit of background and information on me. So yeah, it was a case where I was definitely a late bloomer. Basically, didn't have any kind of a crush or anything until was it end of my sophomore year of high school. It's like my first crush was one of my classmates, and yeah, she played along, I guess, for a little while. You you know dealt with me for the remainder of that school year, and I think a little bit into that summer even. But yeah, by the time the next school year began for our junior year, I'm not sure she ever gave me the time of day after that. So it sucked, but what could you do? Kind of dodged the bullet anyway because I found out through the grapevine after graduation and actually saw her in person one day about 10 years later. And yeah, the drug use was not kind to her. The day that I saw her, I don't think she even recognized me. But anyway, sorry. Um, yeah, so after that, let's see, there was the was it the homecoming season of our junior year, and I apparently caught the eye of one of my classmates who decided to ask me if I want to go with her to the homecoming dance, and you know, I agreed to. I mean, I had never done anything like that before, so I just said, yeah, I'll go. And yeah, we were kind of a thing for that whole week. But with it being my first relationship of any kind, I was totally out of my element. I mean, I think we did talk on the phone at least every day after school. We spent our time together when we could. But I was kind of in a weird position there because I'd been left alone at home for the first time ever for any extended duration. My parents actually left that um, that same week to go to Branson. Is it Branson? It's got all the entertainments in the Midwest for all the casinos and retired people. But anyway, so there was a whole thing where okay, I can I couldn't really stay out too late because parents being parents and calling calling home at random times in the evening. It's just and they were the I don't know how to put it, but the do not defy my authority type of parents. So it was kind of an unspoken iron fist rule kind of thing. But at least that was my impression of it. So I had to stay home. Couldn't really bring her over because yeah, it was like a 25-minute drive one way to pick her up or drop her off. So and with school nights, we had to be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning so we could get to school by whatever time it was. I mean, I don't know. I'm forgetting time frames here, but anyway, it really wasn't logistically. feasible to have any brief evenings together. So anyway, so we did we did the first time couples thing for the week before homecoming. Went to the dance together, and about midway through, yeah, I got dumped. Got back to school on that night, on the Monday, and yeah, she is with some other. She's with some guy from, I think, the sophomore class, or maybe he was freshman class. I'm not sure. I never talked to the guy, so I didn't know. But so anyway, that was pretty much it for me until yeah, what was it? Yeah, my senior year. Um, a couple months in, we got a new student in our friends group, and it turned out that she was the sister of one of my classmates and friends, and yeah, she just kind of snuck into the group with a couple of the freshmen, and it wasn't really until the, the middle of the winter, actually, that we started to actually talk at all. And it was what was it? It was we call it the snowball dance, um, middle of February, maybe a little after Valentine's Day. But anyway, that was a fun day for me, where I completely lost my cool on the teacher, nearly got myself suspended for at an extracurricular activity earlier in the day. But anyway, made it back in time for the dance, and yeah, she was there. She asked me to dance, and me being the smooth talker that I was, one of the first things I say to her is, "You know, we've never really gotten a chance to talk to each other or to know each other." It's like, yeah, that's really good first thing to say to the person that you're actually kind of interested in. So anyway, we didn't really get too close during the remainder of that year, but you know, I graduated, I moved away, and actually I wound up back in the back, not the general area, but within striking distance of that area. The first winter back, and I actually wound up. Um, we actually did get together as a couple right around her birthday uh, in '01, and you know we did last about a month and a half or 2 months there, basically from her birthday up until a little after Christmas or New Year's. But throughout all that time, it was a thing where no matter what I did, no matter when I called, no matter when I tried stopping by, whatever, she was just never available. So after a few weeks of that, I just said one day I just got cut us loose and broke up with her. So it sucked. I mean, it really did. I mean, she was my first actual heartbreak, and I was the one that did the breaking up. Funny, funny side note there. Um, Actually, no, there's a whole story. There's a whole story there. What was it? God damn, this is already a shit. Sorry, I jumped ahead a whole year there. Sorry, it wasn't 2001. It was 2000. Sorry, it was the fall and winter of 2000, 2001 that we were together. So anyway, sorry, I'm mixing up my years here. Sorry. Um, anyway, um, so we broke up. Didn't talk to each other again until what was it? Graduation of 2001. I came back because I had a few friends from the underclass who were graduating, so I came back to see them, let them off, and hit some parties with them. And as luck would have it, Kim actually came along and joined with us for much of it. So at the end of that night, it wound up being it was Becky with Peter, Melissa with Jeremy, and myself with Kim. All went back to Becky's brother's place, and he was out of town for the weekend, so that we could just hang out there if we wanted to. So we did. Wound up digging through the movies. Wound up watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and yeah, we all fell asleep during it, and well, not all of us. Actually, Mel and Jeremy actually left before the movie. It was just myself, Kim, uh, Becky, and Peter were all that was left. But anyway, I just remembered it was this thing where I woke up at the very end of the movie, like right as the end credits were playing, or the ending organ theme, whatever. Um, so anyway, I woke up and everyone else was still sleeping, but I had Kim uh, resting against my shoulder, so it's like, okay, obviously I'm not gonna move, and I don't want to wake her up because I'm actually kind of enjoying the moment. It's just one of those sweet moments, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is nice. But yeah, she woke up about maybe 10 minutes later. Anyway, I had to take her home before her mom and stepdad got too pissed off. I dropped her off that night, and that was actually the last time I ever saw her. It definitely sucked, but it was kind of a nice conclusion to the relationship, I guess. So, one of those things where yeah we don't talk at all anymore. She did reach out to me back around 2011, 2012, or thereabout, and friended me on Facebook. We talked a bit through Messenger and comments, and yeah, then just one day she decided to up and block me. No idea why. She just did. Yeah, so yeah, I would love to know why she did that to me, but I'm never gonna know. Anyway, let's see. Going back to actual relationships. Let's see. 2002 was the next one I had. Um, Her name was Sarah, and we were set up as a blind date, as we were both friends of Mel's, and she set us up, and we talked pretty much every day for the 2 months that we were getting to know each other, and then and we would we'd go visit each other. I mean, she lived about an hour away from me, so you'd be like, okay, well, today I can head up there, visit you, maybe stay overnight if we want, and you come down here do the same thing. So we did see quite a bit of each other, during that duration. But then one day, about 2 months in, she stops responding to my calls, and was it 3 days later, I get a letter in the mail from her, along with this pendant that I had left behind. She just basically says that she's breaking up with me because she just wants to be alone. And and just ha ha ha, jokes on me kind of thing was she stayed single for about maybe a month and a half after that, and then she starts going out with this other guy. I think his name was Brad, and she's like, "Oh, you'd like him so much. He's just like you." Like, really, really? Whatever. So, let's see, 2002. Okay, so end of summer comes around, and I've got plans in place to move back to the Rice Lake area. I'm still working in Eau Claire, and 3 weeks before I'm going to leave, this new girl starts at my job. Her name is Nola, and I can just tell there's something about her, something that's really intriguing. You know, she's very quiet, very reserved, but there's something there about her that I really wanted to get to know. And yeah, so crush develops, crush intensifies. I leave, and a year later, I find out that she's still working there. And I decide, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna leave my contact information for her. And lucky for me, the guy working as the janitor at the store um, actually took the information from me and passed it along to her. We wound up actually getting in touch a few months later. Uh, spent a lot of time just chit chatting online. And around the beginning of 2005, we were at this point where I know I want to try uh, dating her, but she's teetering back and forth. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, driving me totally out of my fucking mind because you know I I'm just so smitten with her, and I'm losing sleep. I can't concentrate. Just all this wonderful bullshit. And eventually, she decides that yes, we're going to be together. We're going to move in together. We got an apartment down in Eau Claire, and I transferred my job from up there down to Eau Claire. And yeah, it turned out to be the biggest mistake of our lives. Well, among the biggest mistakes of our lives. Yeah, so we moved in together. It was April of 2005, and by July of 2005, I had already had enough and really wanted to end things, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't break up with her. I was too concerned about what would happen um, because she had shown uh, a lot of mental instability, and she was, as I saw it, at high risk of self harm. And not to say that I wasn't, because all these scars on my arms are self inflicted. So, you know, glass house, stones, bad idea. Um, anyway, so yeah, for the next year and a half, almost 2 years, things are just constant tension, constant walking on eggshells. We're totally incompatible, but we stick with it because we're both too stubborn to quit. And then January 2007 rolls around, and that's when the stabbing incidents occurred. We got into it over the perception. As she saw it, I must have been looking up porn because I had an icon clicked on my computer, the CD drive, and apparently, oh, you must have a porno disc somewhere, right? Like, oh, god damn it! You seriously gonna do that? You seriously gonna go there? Anyway, we really get into it that day, and that was the day, the one and only time that I have ever lashed out and physically struck a partner, because she had me literally backed into a corner, and I had nowhere to go, and she kept advancing on me, and I finally just instinctively just backhanded her because I I had no other alternatives. She would not give me any space. She was, literally just inches away from me, and I had nowhere to go. So anyway, I felt like absolute shit after that, and my self-harming tendencies kicked in. I grabbed the knife that I had hidden under the bed. Story behind that was a few days earlier, we were we were both awakened by a pounding on the door in the middle of the night. So we were a little freaked out by that. So kept the knife bedside because, well, if it happens again, what if someone tries breaking in? So that's why we had the knife there. So anyway, you know I had the knife with me, went to the bathroom, and I was giving a lot of consideration to just using it on myself. She talked me out of it. She coaxed the knife out of my hand, and we start, things start heating up again. And I finally just make the comment that, okay, well, if this is how it's going to be, then we should just break up. Well, she did not like that. She snapped, grabbed the knife herself, and started to go after her own wrist. And me being the most unhelpful person in the world, I just started trying to push her hand back, push her hand back, push her hand back. After about 4 times of doing that, she gets the clever idea to go around and jams herself in the side. And she cut herself in the liver. So she's bleeding out. I'm on the phone to 911. She gets taken to one local hospital, and me, with the sheriff's department on scene, they're taking my statement, and I made a mistake of mentioning that I had thought about hurting myself. Well, that's an automatic psychiatric hold. So they had to take me into custody, send me to the other hospital and their psych ward, where I stayed overnight. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So after that, we did not live together anymore, except for moving in with her parents for about 2 months while she recovered, and we terminated our lease. I started trying to save up money so I could move back out on my own again. And in 2009, I had been living in my own apartment for a while. She stepped with her parents, and 2009 rolls around, and I decided, I feel like I'm being called to do something in the other side of the state. So just a gut feeling, So I tell her that, and we both make these arrangements to move to separate towns. I go to mine, she goes to hers, and I think we saw each other maybe 2 more times after that, and then she just ghosted me. And what was it? About a month and a half later, I'm on Facebook and I see my friend suggestions. Her name pops up, and her profile picture is her with this random guy I'd never seen before kissing. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're done. So that takes me into the end of 2009 and 2010. If you want to call it a relationship, I don't know. Some people would, some people wouldn't. I was playing World of Warcraft at the time, and I met someone. She's a really great person. We still talk from time to time, Facebook friends and all this. Um, Unfortunately, she had to see me at my absolute worst because I was chronically depressed, and basically World of Warcraft became my entire life because I had nothing else going on, not even a job. So I was a wreck, and yeah, I didn't blame her for getting rid of me. But let's see. After that, I had nothing until the end of 2010. I think it was October 2010 that I met Carla, and we were together for about 6 months. You know, she was, she was very caring, very. She was fine. She was fine, but I just never felt that spark with her. And the whole thing with her being, a parent, also played into the fact that I just I couldn't stay involved with the kid as part of the equation. So 6 months in, I'm trying to see if it goes anywhere. I ever actually feel the spark, but I don't. So I just break up with her, and that was it for that one. Let's see, 2013. Um, I misread some signals and almost got into a relationship with someone who I never intended to. Um, Her name was Emily, and she invited me to spend time with her, and I just thought that we were just doing it as friends. But come to find out one day that she's like, "Well, why are we not doing these things that partners are supposed to be doing?" Like, oh, I didn't know we were doing that. I thought we were just spending time as friends. So that was definitely all on me. I mean, I didn't read the signals. I was oblivious. I didn't understand what was going on. I just thought that I just had a friend here who was just wanting to spend some quality time together. So, whoops. And that was let's see, that was the last I had in any capacity until early 2015 when I met Cindy through FetLife. And we were together for about not quite 2.5 years before we got married. We talked basically every day for those first 2 years, and I thought everything was going great. And what was it, 2016? Just kind of backing up here. So she's Canadian, living in Toronto, and I'm here in Wisconsin, on the U.S. side of things. So obviously, international travel was a big thing for us. So it would be a case where she would come stateside for a week or two, and I'd take time off from work to spend it with her. And a couple months later, I'd take a week or two to go out there, spend time with her, back and forth, do it like that. And things were great. Yeah, so after a few months of that, let's see, that'll take us to June of 2015. She decided she had made arrangements to come here for was it 2 weeks. I put in for time off from work for that duration, got denied entirely. No explanation from the management. So I quit my job. So that was the last time I ever worked retail. So that was positive anyway. Uh, anyway, yeah, I won't bore you with the other details, but 2016 rolls around and she's back in town again for a couple of weeks. And at this point, I'm actually living with my parents um, because quitting that job in 2015, I burned through my savings. My lease ran out. I had to move out, and I moved in with my parents, who gave who let me stay there rent free while I built up my savings again. So anyway, we wind up going to my nephew's wedding, and somewhere during that stay, um, either before or after the wedding, I'm not sure, but yeah, we got a little frisky, and about a month and a half later, she tells me that we have spawned. Is the way that she put it. Um, well, she'd already decided to abort, so it was kind of a non-issue. But come to find out, based on the ultrasound, but chances were pretty good that we had twins, but they were not viable. Um, there's kind of an issue with the pregnancy that they would not have survived to term anyway. So that kind of sucked, but at the same time, it was kind of a blessing for me. I mean, horrible as it sounds, but yeah. So anyway, so now we're into September of 2016, and I'm in Toronto with her. I propose, and she says yes, and yay yay, happy us. Well, that winter, she gets laid off from her job and has to find a new one. Okay, that Shelly, that does happen. And when she gets her new job, she goes quiet. So I'm just thinking, okay, she's busy with the new job. She just doesn't have time for me because she's busy with that shit. So fine. I don't think anything of it. And then the day before I'm supposed to leave for Las Vegas for the wedding, I get this anonymous message on Facebook telling me that she's been sleeping with someone else. So, shit. I ask her if this message holds any merit. She denies it. I believe her. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go ahead and go on with the wedding. So I arrive in Las Vegas. It's 2 days later because we drove because mom can't fly because of all of her medical equipment needs. But anyway, we get to Las Vegas and finally get to meet up with her after she's been dodging my texts, my messages, any attempt to communicate with her. And she tells me that she's having some mental health issues, and she puts that on me, saying that if I want to postpone the wedding or call it off, that she'll totally understand. Well, that's great. Dump it all on me to make the call, whether or not that we have just wasted, you know, thousands upon thousands of dollars of our friends and family's money, their vacation time, their travel expenses, just for us to not go through with this. It's like, are you serious? Are you serious? So I decided to be the optimist. We go through with it. We go through with the wedding, and biggest mistake in my life right there. See, all throughout that weekend, I basically did not exist. unless something was needed to be paid for. Um, Otherwise, everything was all about her quote unquote roommate, Dave, who she swore was gay. And me, of course, I believed her because I was going to marry her, so benefit of the doubt and all that. But yeah, it's like Friday night it was all about Dave. Saturday, she would not make any effort to get together with me or my friend group who were all together. Just it was always okay. There was me with my group trying to get together with her and her group, but she kept making excuses to not intermingle the groups. And when we actually worked together, everything was always about Dave. And yeah, she was getting sloshed every night, and it just wasn't a great time for me to be me. But anyway, the day after the wedding, she tells me, after we've taken a look at the wedding photos, that she doesn't want to stick around for the duration of our Vegas trip. She wants to go home the next day. Like, okay, what the fuck? So I didn't take that well. I mean, I just like, okay, you're gonna be this way. Fine, I'm out of here. So I walked out. Just took a stroll up and down the Vegas Strip. Not sure if I ever wanted to come back to the hotel or not, but did after a couple hours. She was nowhere to be found, of course, but she came back about 3 hours later. Tells me that she had rebooked her tickets along with Dave, of course, and that they were leaving the next morning. It's like, okay, well that's great. And just to rub salt in the wounds, she decided to cancel the hotel that she had booked for us, leaving me with no place to stay. So my options at that point were to either book a new ticket home myself for another $300 or so, or book a hotel room for 3 nights, for another $300 or so. Like, that's great, Cindy. That's fucking phenomenal. So anyway, she left in the cab with Dave the next morning, and that was the last time I ever saw her. The following year was full of me trying to get her to agree to let me come out there and visit, spend time with her. And it was always, well, first it was, I need to work on my mental health issues. I need to work on that mental health. Okay, so you do that. Okay, fine. But she never did. Her approach was that she, for I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks maybe, took a medication, didn't like the side effect of being more easily bruised, stopped taking it, and made no further effort. And if it wasn't the mental health issue that she was using as an excuse to keep me out, it was always, okay, well, if you're here, that'll inconvenience Dave. So I finally just, after not quite a year of this, I just finally messaged her saying, I can't do this anymore. So I just want to get a divorce. And her response was, I won't try to stop you. Or sorry, it was, I won't fight it. Is how she put it. So that was the end of it for me, for us. A couple days later, I got in touch with a lawyer, started to file the paperwork, and 6 months later, we got the hearing And December 27th, we have our divorce hearing and divorce granted. So, and I have not dated since then. So, that, dear viewer, is my complete dating history. I know I've glossed over some details there, but you know that's everyone I've dated, every crush that I've had, every major crush anyway. I mean, had a couple minor ones here and there, but they weren't worth mentioning. Anyway, I'm sure this has gone on long enough, so I'm going to shut up and stop the video. So I will talk to you later.